Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Japanu Toys. Once again, we're going to be having a look at a Transformer from the GalaxyForce line, from space, with their force and whatnot. And we're going to be having a look at Flame Convoy, leader of the animal planet, whatever they called it in Japan, I can't remember. And I don't really care once again. I remember he was called Scourge in America. Never really agreed with that name, but sure, let's go on with the video and let's have a look at how he turned out. Did he turn out to be a fire-breathing monster, or is he just a terrible, terrible figure? Let's have a look at him now, shall we? Yes, we shall. What was this? Before Transformers Prime's Predaking, there was GalaxyForce's Flame Convoy. The link is they were both dragons, of course. And Flame Convoy is a really nice looking dragon, apart from his teeth, which could have been a lot sharper to make him a bit more fierce. There's a lot of molded detail on this guy. He is big, he's chunky, he's of his time, but there's a lot of paint apps on him that really make him sing to me anyway, like the little bits on his claws and the bits on the spiky parts of his, I don't know, spines on his shoulders. Those little extra flares here and there make him look really good. And he is loaded with detail molded into him as well, which just really adds a lot of oomph to his character, I suppose, as a dragon. Apart from his teeth being a little less impressive, his tail is a bit of a letdown as well. It's not that great, you can kind of tell what it does, but hey, this was back in the day, so tails were not the biggest thing back then. So what can Flame Convoy do in this mode? Well, his mouth can open up and down, so he can go rah 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 rah, and like breathe fire, I think is the intention. His head moves up and down only a little bit. It would have been nice if there was a bit more motion to it, but you know, some's better than none, as they say. Oh, this is a slight problem. This part here does not clip, and if you nudge it, it can just kind of flop out of position. The head will go down on a joint for the transformation, but you know, he can look at the floor and be like, yeah, that's stuff I've stepped on. The legs here, or arms that will be, the shape here, like, if the arms didn't move out for this transformation, they just kind of hit off these back legs and not move. So thanks to the transformation, he's able to get a bit more motion to his legs. We also have a twist here and a ratchet joint for a knee of a sort, I suppose. There's not a huge amount of posing you can do with it, but again, some's better than none. We have an ankle joint that twists and ratchets, and this is what will be his leg, I'm sure you can tell. So lots of ratchets there, but that's about it. The tail is kind of wobbly in its place, so it has one joint which clicks, and it twizzles as well, so you can have him wag his tail if you really want him to, or straighten it out. Either way, more joints than the tail would have helped it a lot, but yeah, it's not the worst thing ever. It's just kind of a shame. So there's joints in here, but not a lot. That you can't do a huge amount with them, as usual, I think, with some Transformers. He does come with the leader's Cyber Planet key or Force chip, you can tell because it's gold, which is quite nice. I do always like the gold flare, and the Beast Planet ones always looked nice because it just looked like a mouth eating something with bits of rock on the side. So when we add this to Flame Convoy, he does have a special gimmick, as they always do, and yeah, that's his slot. So slot in that key, and boosh! This is a problem. I don't know if it's with all of them, but with mine at least, you get this part where one of his second dragon heads will just kind of whack in there. Obviously, it's meant to come all the way down, but I don't know. So yeah, that's what it's meant to do. They wobble about. Again, this is the Predaking reference I use because that toy did it as well. They kind of move up and down. One's a bit more sticky than the other, and there's actually a nice little feature where, I mean, looking at these things, they're really well detailed, but there's a little eye in there, so when it's held down for its untransformed state, there's no eye, and then opened up, there's an eye. It's a nice little gimmick, I like it. Now, what else can this thing do? There are lights and sounds, but you know me, I don't use them, so batteries were whipped out as soon as possible. But hey, I'm sure you can find videos elsewhere. Now, let's take Flame Convoy and turn him into a robot. In his robot mode, Flame Convoy is an impressive looking figure, very tribal leader-esque with a lot of spikes and pointy bits sticking out of him, and of course he has a little kind of ceremonial tribal frontal skirt thing. I don't know the official term for them, so I apologize there, but it's all very cool. And the robot mode has nice paint apps, like I love on the horns, on the side of his shoulders, that color transition, the gradient. It's great. It's really nice. On his back, however, there is a lot of weight there, which I'll talk about in the articulation part, but spoilers, it does hinder his balance a little bit. It's actually interesting that he has calf muscles, pretty beastie calves as well, but there you go. The back's clearly not as impressive as the front of the figure, but yo, the face sculpt I think is pretty sharp. Maybe could have done with a bit more color on it, but hey, it's intimidating. Righto, Flame Convoy, show me what you can do for articulation. So, not a huge amount extra. The head can move up and down again if you need it to, which you don't. The head will twist. It gets real stiffened in places. I think some parts of the head will just kind of knock against other parts, so you got to kind of fiddle it around and then go, ah! It's real stiff, but the head can go around and it can go up. The shoulders, you know, unhindered, can flap for no reason really. You have a bicep swivel and a bicep bend for 90. Problem is he has a barbell hand, so he can do a good old uppercut, but he can't really hold things in a satisfying way. Unfortunately, this is a problem most have. The legs go out that far, and you know, all the way back. We have a kind of a more double joint. We have ankle. Well, you know, this is all the same from when he was in his dragon mode as well. We also have a little ankle thing, which helps a little bit, but there's a lot of back weight here, and even these tight joints sometimes just flop him back, unfortunately. A shame, but it's one of those things, so you got to be careful how you're standing him as he clips into position. The arms don't move out at all, which is a shame. It really would have helped this figure if it could have done, but hey, no waist joint either because of the gimmick and whatnot, so that's all I think he's got for articulation. Of course, the Cyberplanet key can whack in his back, and if you straighten the heads out, the robot mode now has fire-breathing heads, which again is a nice little feature. It's nice that it's a Cyberplanet key feature that carries over from both modes instead of just being locked into one of them, which is always a good thing in my eyes. And of course his tail, you know, this is what you do with it. You simply grab this part, whip this up, straighten that up, and he's got like a axe club with a spike on top, and that's about it. It's not a great looking weapon, but looks like it do damage. It can bend, so maybe it's a boomerang gun thing. I don't know. 1 point to hold it in the bottom there. You pop it in, and yeah, that's all you can do with it. Because of the lack of joints, he can hold it quite well, even at an angle, and not fall over. But just because there's not a huge amount of articulation to him, he can't do a lot with it. You know, he can do that, but what's that, you know? it's a real shame. Him holding his weapon is the biggest show of, oh man, I wish this toy had some more joints just to, you know, just so he could do more stuff with it. It's a bit of a shame, it's a bit of a letdown, but he's still an impressive looking figure. And I can't really say don't buy him, because he is still quite fun. He looks really good on the shelf as well. He's got a very imposing silhouette. He's got some nice colours on him. I think the head sculpt is really sharp and really good. It's just the lack of articulation in a lot of those key areas which kind of hinder this toy, I think, which is kind of a shame. But again, it's a toy of its time. And if you can get past the overall lack of articulation and get behind how it looks and how it plays, I think you can enjoy this toy as well. So thank you guys for watching this video, and I will catch you for something else in the future. Probably the banana Kamen Rider thing, so I'll catch you for that, guys.